Hi everyone! How are you today? Welcome to my studio. So, hopefully the sound is good, right? Yes, okay, sound is good. Hi! Oh, wait. Okay. See, look. I can tell I'm out of practice because I forgot to mute my other computer for YouTube, right? Alright. Hi, Erica and Terry and Amanda and Amber and Shelly. How are you guys today? And I know that that Miss Alvain is lurking in the and down, kind of, behind the scenes a little bit. Hi, I'm really oh wait, so this quilt along is 2 years in the making. 2 years it has taken us to do the patterns, to get everything together, to have the testers go over it, to get all of the stuff, to advertise to the stores, to do all the stuff. And I am super, super excited that everyone here has joined me for the very first live YouTube. Thank you so much. Yes, this is my Marley. Marley gets very excited when I start to talk to myself because he knows that I'm streaming. And he thinks that he may get a few treats. Oh, the cat's also very excited. The cat is also very, very excited because, they could. Sharon, did I say hi to you? Hi, Sharon. I know you're at work right now. How are you? Thank you, Terry. So Marley travels with me. Now, he won't be with me next Thursday. I will actually be in Maryland. So I'm going to be filming from a friend of mine's house down in Virginia. But we may have a few kittens that actually appear because they have a lot of cats and they're foster parents for kittens. Here you go, Booby. There you go. And here is your treat, sir. So, yes. So this is Marley and that is Obsidian. No, he's usually not wrong. No. He's usually not wrong. You're absolutely right. He knows when I'm talking to myself. Chances are I'm streaming. So, before we get into the actual quilt along and all the other stuff, yay, Sharon! No, Terry, I'm so upset. So, I cannot. Unfortunately, because they canceled market, I can't justify just doing festival without market. So, it's because I don't teach any classes. I don't do any events. I don't do anything except for have a booth to chat with people and promote the patterns and talk to guilds. And it's, unfortunately, coming from Ontario, Canada, I just can't justify going all that way for just festival. So next year in Houston, I am totally going. And for those of you that go to Houston on a regular basis, we tend to have a NASA day for my people, which includes all of you now, between market and festival. So I'm very, very excited for next year. Yeah, so it is. I know it's been so weird this year. Terry, if you decide to go say hi to the Famore guys because I miss them and I love them. So Brent and Sebastian are amazing and they will be there. So they're gonna do scissor sharpening. They're gonna do the whole show. They are gonna be at festival, so you can see them. So, yes, next year, I promise I will be there, assuming that this all is better and yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah, go say hi. So yeah, the Famore's cutlery with scissor people, I love them. And you can say that I sent you, and they'll take care of you. Sorry, I'm getting all excited now. Let's do some housekeeping before we get into this. First off, my normal live streaming people, if you're used to the live streaming, a couple of things. I am not doing sound because I'm going to do more of a traditional filming. I am by myself in the house, so I don't have to worry about any sounds unless the dog barks. So that's the only difference that you're going to see from any other normal YouTube live streamings that I do, or from my Twitch live streams. For anyone that's new to my live streams on my channel, the way it works is that I have a couple of camera setups that I'm going to go through and show you a lot. Oh, there you go. And show you a lot of the close-up work. So if you've seen any of my videos, this is exactly how I do it. Is I have software that I'm able to switch all my cameras. I've got like 6 cameras set up right now. And do all of that stuff. Please feel free as we're moving along. If you have any questions, concerns, ask. That's why I love doing this live. It's just like a class. So I can teach, I can go through things, I can show you stuff. Now, there will be periods where I'm explaining and talking and I'm not going to be interacting, because those are going to be the periods that I'm going to cut out. So what's going to happen, we have this class today. We're going to go through the basics of fabrics, the basics of cutting, combining strips, and then cutting those combined strips, basically getting everything all set up. And then next Thursday, I'm going to go through all the actual assembly of the block. So we'll do all that, combined within the 2 weeks. But then I'll take breaks and I'll come back and I'll ask questions. Then after I record both of the 2 weeks, then I'm going to edit the videos. I'm going to combine them together and set it up just like any of my other tutorials, where I'm going to cut out all of the extraneous chatting with you guys, and speed up all of the fast stuff, where I'm going to say, okay, so let's get cutting. And then I'll chat with you guys, but then that'll all be sped up with the fancy music that I do in my YouTube videos. And then we'll do that. So it'll be a backup. So like I said, feel free, ask questions, do the stuff. Now, if you don't have this block yet, it is !HQAL. Make sure if you have a code from a store to get one for free, that you make sure you put that in at the checkout. So at the checkout, it'll ask you for the code, put it in there, and then it'll take it down to free. For everyone else, if you're not making this as part of a store, it is $4 for this block, and every single block will have instructions for if you're making it as a standalone block or if you're making it as part of the quilt along. Now, of course, this block right here, our bat, is a standalone because it's our block number 1. So I love the black. I love the bat. He's so cute. He's so cute. Now, for those of you that also are familiar with all of my YouTube videos and tutorials and live streams, you may notice I have a different iron. I was supposed to get a new iron in Houston this year because my Oliso finally kicked the bucket. After 3 solid years of constant ironing, about 4 to 6 hours a day, because this is what I do for a living, it finally kicked the bucket. So Oliso was going to give me another one in Houston. So that's going to have to be on the back burner for right now, but we'll see what I can do for the future, if I can grab one somehow. So I will be using a traditional iron. I know, it's not my fancy iron, but that's okay. I can't wait till I get my Oliso again. It did. It's dead. It's dead. All right. Who's excited for block number 1? Okay. Oh, and depending upon how fast we go today, if we finish before the whole 2 hours is up, I will go ahead and film. Well, no, can't film the beginning and end because I have to have the finished block before I can do that. Well, then I'll wait. I'll wait and film that either next week or sometime, for the video. So, yes. All right. Let's do this. Hi. All right. Welcome to the Pixelated Halloween Quilt-Along. I'm so excited. Like I said earlier, this has been 2 years in the making, and I am very excited to kick this off, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see the quilts that you create using this block and using the quilt along, and yeah, I'm very, very, very excited for this. We are doing block number 1, the bat, today. So if you grab your pattern, I'm going to talk about the pattern, I'm going to talk about your fabrics, everything else. Now, if you got this quilt along as part of a cooperation with a store, you may have gotten your paste up sheets. If you did not get your paste up sheets for your fabrics, you can find those on my website at quiltoni.com under the Pixelated Halloween Quilt Along page. There are paste ups on there for these fabrics, which are the Northcott Toscanas. So my quilt that I showed you what it looks like is using all the Northcott Toscana fabrics. So if you want it to look like that, pick up those fabrics. It has the SKUs and everything for you. If you don't, then whatever fabrics you have chosen. So for example, the bat, block number 1, we've got our black, our brown, our dark gray, and our light yellow. Take a small piece of your fabric, cut it out, and tape it over those swatches, because that's what it's for, is to keep it organized so you know exactly which fabric you're using for each color. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and cut your fabrics out for the black, the brown, the dark gray, and the light yellow, and just cut a little piece off of there and stick it on your fabric paste up sheets. And then once you do that, then we can get into the bat. Now, like I said earlier to the live stream, all of the directions are giving you how to make a standalone block or how to do it as part of the quilt along. You'll notice that there are certain parts in block number 1 where it will say set aside the things. So if this block's being made as part of the Pixelated Halloween quilt along, set aside any fabric and combined strips you didn't use for future blocks. Of course, if you're just making this block as a standalone block, you don't do that. This is the only one where you're not really worried about pulling things from previous blocks. Future blocks, you'll have to do that. So we will be reusing some of our combined strips. We will be reusing some of our solids for future blocks. So keep that in mind. Let's start to sew. Let's start to get our things together. All right, now, if you've used any of my patterns before, if you've done any of my pixelated patterns, then you may have picked up my pixelated template set. This is a really cool set that actually helps you cut perfect pieces for all of my pixel patterns. I like that alliteration. Perfect pieces for pixel patterns. Now, unfortunately, with this one, it's a little bit of a different size. So we can't use those pixel templates for this quilt along. I'm currently working with Martelli. In fact, we were supposed to launch it this month, but we haven't quite gotten around to it yet. There are templates coming. So if you like my pixel templates and you want a new set for the 2.5 and 4.5, the 2.5 by 2.5, and the 2.5 by 1.5, then keep your eyes open. They are coming. I'm very excited about that. All right, so for right now, that just means we're going to have to do our standard cutting. Now, whenever you cut, I always recommend with my pixel patterns to use a rotary cutter and straight edge. I'm going to be showing you how to cut the strips out a couple of different ways, including a standard straight edge, and then my favorite, the Stripology Ruler. The Stripology Ruler is a way that you can cut your strips a lot faster, and it works for almost any strip project, but most importantly, the pixel patterns. All right, so let's take a look. Now, what we want to do, now all of this stuff in the purple up here, this is instructions that if you're brand new, so let's say if this is your very first quilt, or maybe your second quilt, make sure you read all of the instructions in purple because it's going to break everything down. I assume that you know how to use a sewing machine, and that is it. I do not assume that you have quilted before. I do not assume that you have pixel quilted before. I assume you can sew a straight-ish line. And we take everything from there. Now, if you are an experienced quilter that can sew straight lines and you can go quickly and you've stripped pieced before, you can skip a lot of the purple stuff, which is why we highlight it. So you know that you can just gloss over those areas. Now, if you are making it as part of a quilt, as this quilt along, well then just grab your fabrics. These are the ones that I'm using. So these are my brown, my dark gray, my black, and my yellow fabrics that I've got. And we want to cut these strips. So we're taking a look at our chart here, and this chart is the same for every single one of my patterns. You'll always have to cut 2 different size strips. The 2.5 strips are for all of your solid pieces. The 1.5 strips are for your combined pieces. So let's get cutting. All right, so look at my black. Now with the black, of course, if you've not cut strips before with rotary cutters, Remember, for the 2.5-inch strips, what you want to do is first square this up. Make sure that this is square, and it is not. So I'm actually going to square it up using my Stripology because I like the square up much, much better for here. Because the square up is literally cutting it along the 0. And that's nice and squared up. Now, you always want to square your fabric up. Squaring this up is important because when you square it up, you're making sure that you have a nice straight edge right here that you can sew against. So whenever we're using our regular straight edge, we want to cut 2 2.5-inch strips. So what we want to do is line this up so our top line here is also even with our 2.5-inch strip right there. And then I find after you cut it, move the right fabric away. And if you have anything that's pulling, at that point you can trim it again. If you try to pull it away right here, well then it may get a little wonky, especially if you haven't done a nice clean cut. And then you can line this up again and do it again. And then once you do those 2.5s, let's cut our 1.5s. So we want 3 of those. 1. And 2. Now you see how slow I am cutting these strips. Now let's take a look at the next color, which is brown. Now we're just going to take all of these, and I like to make 2 different piles up here. One of the 2.5-inch strips and one pile of the 1.5-inch strips. Okay, so now let's use my Stripology ruler. Now the Stripology is a little expensive. I believe right now it's running about $60. However, if you do a lot of stripping, including pixel quilting, I find it is a really, really, really good investment. So brown, we went 3 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2. 1, 2, and just like that, it's done. So if you have one, make sure you're using it. If you don't, it's fine. I will slow down a bit to make sure that you can catch up. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cut the remaining fabric. I'll speed up the video a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about cutting those solid pieces. All right, any questions from the live audience? So is anyone having any issues with their cutting, with anything else? Oh, I almost forgot. I forgot to mention, if this is your first time watching a YouTube live video, where's my scissors? You want to make sure it is live. So take your mouse button and kind of hover over the video. And as you're hovering over the video, look in the bottom left. If it doesn't say live with a red dot, that means that you're behind a little bit. So you want to make sure you click on that live button, and it'll make sure that you're live for nice interaction. All right, where? I put my scissors somewhere. All right, let me get my backup scissors. Ugh, backup scissors, because I didn't quite cut through that all the way. There we go. So any questions, concerns, any excitement of the, oh my gosh, I did this and I can't believe I did this thing. It's so weird without music. I would turn on music for a while. We're doing things and speeding up the camera. But I'd be afraid I forget to turn the music back off again. You know, and it's, yeah, I think I've got like 4 or 5 seam rippers. I've got like 4 or 5 pairs of nice Femore scissors. Did I cut these 2 inches. I am so used to cutting 2 inches. I cut these 2 inches instead of 1.5 inches. Wow. So yeah, no, I've got a couple of nice pairs of Femore scissors just because I love them so much. So, fantastic. I tend to go a little fast. For anyone new to my live streams, hi, I'm Toni. I've got ADHD. I talk really fast. I do all the things fast. I also squirrel. So please feel free to stop me and ask questions. Yeah, no, I always make sure I've got extra stuff sitting around. Because you never know when you need it. Right? Terry, did you do the 2 inches as well? I am so used to making my 3.5 and my 2 inches. It's so hard for me to be like 2.5 and 1.5. So whenever I do small little 3/4 inch squares, like little teeny tiny squares, I do 1 1/4. And of course I can't do 1 1/4 with the Stripology. Yeah, exactly. I can at least cut them down this time. So I haven't done them too small. I'd rather do them too big than too small, because then you can always fix it. Okay, so it's a dark gray, and then I need 2 of these. Fantastic. All right, and then I said 2, right? Yes. 1.5 and 3. Man. There we are. Fantastic. All right, and my fabric is all cut. How is everyone else doing? Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, but you've done... Oh, so you're... Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, so you've done wrong sizes in the past, just not this moment. Drinking my iced tea out of my my hot tea container. It's delicious. And it keeps it cold, right? That's the nice thing I like about those tumblers, is it keeps things cold as well as keeping things hot. It's awesome. It is fantastic. Nice. Nice, Dolores. Look at Dolores working ahead, getting her strips cut out, ready to go. Fantastic. Nice. Yeah, I remember, Amanda, when you took the Pixel class during Gen Con Online. And you're like, just go ahead. It's fine, just go. It's, you know what, it's practice. It's all a matter of, hey, Dawn, how are you? It's all a matter of the more you pixel quilt, the faster you get at rotary cutting the strips. It's just a matter of doing it over and over and over. Nice, Terry. Nice. For anyone that's just coming in, we have cut all of our strips. We talked about fabrics. We have cut all of our strips, and I'm just waiting for most people to catch up, and then I'll go on to cutting the solids. So, and this is all we're doing today, is we are cutting all of our pieces, and then we're going to talk about laying the pieces out. I know, Marty. Marty's like, Ma, pay attention to me. And we're going to talk about laying the pieces out. And then next week, we're going to finish laying our pieces out. I know. I know. I love you very much. Finish laying the pieces out and then start sewing them together and sewing the rows together. Hi. Are you my good boy? Okay. Come here. Is this what you want? Oh my gosh. My good boy wants a cuddles. Are you my cuddle bear? Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Sharon. I appreciate it. You want to say hi to Dawn? Say hi, Dawn. Mwah. You my good boy. You are. Mwah. All right. You be my good boy for a bit, okay? All right. So that is warmed up. let's do this. And there we are. Great. All right, now I'm going to have to move that over and not hit the microphone. Great. Perfect. That looks good. Yeah, he is. He's a fluffer. He's a fluffy baby. Mwah! Love you. Okay. Oh, good. There's no strips cut in half. That makes it easier. Okay, I'm going to start going forward then with the cutting out the solid pieces because I think a lot of people are ready. All right, so we have our 2.5 and our 1.5 inch strips cut. The instructions say we're going to take all of the 1.5s, we're going to set them aside because remember, we're going to sew those 1.5 inch strips together and then cut pieces from those. So let's take a look at the 2.5 inch pieces. So we've got, let's start with the black. So what I like to do whenever I'm cutting my solid pieces is I like to keep my fabrics folded together. And what that does is it actually allows me to be efficient in my cutting and cut 2 pieces at once. But wait, there's more. I'm going to iron, you know, let me just iron all of my fabrics. So whenever you cut multiple strips, you can cut even more. So for example, there are 2 black strips here. So what I'm going to do whenever I do my rotary cutting for my solid pieces, I'm going to cut both of those black strips at the same exact time. So you know what? Let me show you that. And then when I'm speeding up the video, I can show you the rest of them. So for example, I've got both of my black strips right here. So each one is folded in half. So as I'm counting 2 at a time. Then I have another one I can set on top. So I'm now counting 4 at a time. Now, the trick to doing this, of being efficient with your cutting and cutting multiple pieces is making sure it's lined up. So you notice how I'm using this line on my cutting mats to line everything up. And then I'm going to lay my Stripology ruler down right over top of it. Now, if you haven't used a Stripology ruler for this before, you want to take your line and line it up along the top right there. And it allows you to quickly just cut out those solid pieces. Now, if you're using a standard straight edge, if you don't have a Stripology, then what you want to do is cut off at the end, square it up, and then go down the line. And as you're cutting them, make sure you're moving the strip to the right, not pulling the strips to the left, but make sure that you keep everything perfectly lined up. Now, this strategy also works whenever you have more than 2 strips. So if you have multiple strips, you can then start layering them down. I have personally cut through 8 strips that have been folded in half at the same time. So it is definitely possible, and it speeds up your cutting, and it makes it a lot more efficient. So let's take a look at the black. Now with my blacks, the instructions say to cut 2.5 by 4.5 rectangles. Well, this is 2.5 inches wide. So we're going to cut 4.5 inch rectangles. So let's square that up, and then a 4.5. Now remember, I'm cutting 4 pieces at a time. Or according to the directions, I only need 4 pieces. Well, great, so I'm done. Now I need 10 2.5s. So 1, 2.5, there's 4. 1, 2.5, there's 8. Now at this point, I can take one of these strips away and cut 2 pieces, or go, it's the first block. Chances are I'm going to use at least 2 more 2.5 inch pieces. So 1, 2, and 2. And then what I'll do then is take the 2 away from here and set it aside. And this is going to get set aside for future blocks. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And then here are all of my solid pieces. Now, whenever I was first pixel quilting, I used to actually take all of my pieces and I used to sit and do this and make sure they were all facing up. You know what? That's actually a waste of time. Because chances are, when you're laying your pieces out, if you take this piece, I know that's not the right side. That's the wrong side. I'm not going to lay that down. So you would only need to do that if you have pieces where it's important that you know what the right side is. For example, Michael Miller has a fairy frost fabric that glows in the dark. It is a white fabric that glows in the dark, and the glow is only on a single side. And if you're just looking at it without staring at it, it's easy to mix up which is the right and the wrong side. Well, in that case, you'd have to pick it up and put it down and make sure you do that. Ooh, if someone uses that for this quilt, that'd be actually kind of cool. Sorry, I just thought of all that because it's a Halloween quilt and it glows in the dark. That'd be kind of spooky and cool. All right, so that is your solid pieces. So I'm going to speed up the video, cut the orange. I know my colors. I really do. I'm going to cut my brown and my dark gray from my 2.5-inch strips. I'm going to iron them and cut them. And then I'll come back from the sped up video and I will show you how to combine those 1.5-inch strips. All right, any questions? Does anyone have any questions for the live class for the solid pieces? And then you're going to set them aside because we'll use those when we're laying everything out. Let me move this out of the way. All right. Now for the brown, I've got 3, so I'm actually going to try to cut them in sets of 6. Let's see, yeah, because 15, 10, and 3. So that one I'll probably cut the first one in sets of 3, or sets of 6, 3 strips. And then I'll go back and do that. Yes! Yes, yeah, Terry, go back and look. So it is, I can actually give you I love the Fairy Frosts, by the way. It is, in fact, while everyone's ironing and doing that, I'll look it up and I'll send you the SKU on it. So let's see if we can find the SKU. Let's see, Michael Miller Fairy Frost. Let's see, it is, I actually think it's called Glow. Glim, it's not Glim, Natural, Snow, Fairy, Zerk, Twin. Fairy Frost, Glow in the Dark. There it is. Yeah, it's called Glow. It's just a white fabric. It's called Glow, and it is awesome. Nice. You have it? Nice. Yeah, so there it is. I love how you went back in the shop and you found it if you had it. So yeah. No, it is, so if you guys want to buy some Fairy Frost, Terry, do me a favor. Pop in your store, the link to your store, in the chat. So if you want some of that Fairy Frost, Terry's got some. You can, cause I don't have it on my shop for sale, cause I tend to just use it all for myself. Yeah, you should. Well, we're not doing white today, right? So you don't have to use the white today, but you can replace it with a yellow. Yes, you should do that. Yeah, Terry, put your shop link when you get a chance in the comments, so that people can go and buy some from you. All right, so we've got that. I love the Fairy Frost. In fact, we just had a race for Starlight, because we do a lot of quilting sewing races for charities. So 2 weeks ago, we had the race for Starlight. And I had a reward on there. If someone did a single donation of $1,000 to Starlight, then I would actually give every single competitor a gift basket, including some Fairy Foster fabric. And the brand new... Oh, and Terry, if you haven't picked this up yet, you should. It is the Heat and Bond vinyl. So Heat and Bond has now an oilcloth vinyl container. It's just brand new. Basically, you can take any cotton fabric and turn it into vinyl. So that purse makers don't have to have certain things in vinyl. They can create their own. It is awesome. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, pop your website in though. See, you should have permissions, I think, to pop it in. If not, then my mod, Miss Elvane, will see it and she can put the link in there. But yeah, even if it's not on the website, you call Terry and she can do that. But yeah, but put your actual website in chat so people can see it. All right, so let's do gray. And then I will do the brown. All right, so gray. I need, oh yeah, I just need a single 1.5 inch triangle. There we are, and then I can set that aside for future blocks. And I only need one of those. Okay, that's future blocks. Yep, just a single one there. Awesome. Oh, you did? Yeah, I didn't see it. Miss Elvane, can you see it? Oh, that's not a thing. Dang it. Okay. And you can't message. I'm still getting the whole YouTube versus the Twitch thing. Can I? Yeah, you're supposed to see it. Okay. Spam filters. Yeah, see, I don't have link protection on. So you should be able to do links. Man. Oh well. You know what? Shoot me a Facebook message. Oh. I clicked on the wrong thing. Yeah, you can't put on my Facebook page. Yeah. No, it's not coming up as a link. Do me a favor. Shoot me a Facebook message. Let me pull up Facebook. Because I think I've got your direct link, but I want to make sure that I put the right one in there. All right, so I've got my Facebook up. So shoot me a message either on my business or probably my business page. Let's go to my messages. And then I'll see that. And then I'll grab it and throw it in there so that people can pick it up. Yeah! Okay. All right, so while we're doing that, let's talk about the browns. So with the blacks, remember I put 2 strips at a time? So for the browns, let's do 3. 1, 2, 3. There we are. All right, so I'm going to be doing this one. Now the browns, I'm going to be doing 15, 1, 5, 4 1/2. So this is 6 at a time. So there's 6, 12. Okay, so I've got 12 of these so far. And then I need 2 1/2. Okay, I need 6 of those. All right, and then 12, 14, 16. Oops. Let's do that. Let's relay this out, line it up. Perfect. So I need another 4 1/2. Take 1 away, and I now have 15. And that's how many I need. This one's an extra, so I'm going to set that aside. Yeah! There we go. Perfect. I see it. I see it. Okay, so copy. So here is Terry's stuff. So here's Terry's website. Or if you want to shoot Terry a Facebook message and be like, hey, give me some of that fairy frost stuff for this quilt along. Here is Terry's Facebook. Perfect. There's got to be a way to allow people to promote themselves. Because that's the whole reason why I love live streaming. Is so we can promote people and do stuff. And okay, where was I? 6. Okay, so I need 4 more to make it 10. There we are. 2.5. Great. And then I need 3 1.5s. 1.5. All right. So there's that one. There is that. And then I only need 3, so that's an extra. Perfect. All right. And I believe all my solids are done. Let's go to the next page. We're done with page number 1, everyone. Fantastic. All right. I'm going to give it a moment. See? And this is, so normally when I'm in a classroom setting, for anyone that's new to my online interactivity stuff, normally I'll be walking around, watching, checking, chatting, and then when it looks like most of the people are ready to go, well, then I go to the next part. Did I squirrel enough? Is everyone caught up on the solids? It's so weird not having music. I know I've said that already. But I'm going to sit and twiddle my thumbs because I can't see what you're doing. This is weird not having a Zoom class in order to watch everyone else and just sit and go. Yep. Cool. What you doing? Awesome. I'll wait a few more minutes because we've got plenty of time because we've cut those out. So now we just have to cut out the strips. And then once we sew our strips and we cut those combined strips, then I'll show you the basic of laying everything out. And then after we do that, then we'll call it a class. And then it's up to you if you want to lay things out and have it ready for next week. But I am going to start next week with a reminder of how to lay it out again. Just for those people that decide not to. Get that there. Nice. I'm trying to think. I don't have any new tattoos. My next appointment is in December. Oh, for those of you that are not don't join me on Twitch Live, you will be happy to know the next color in my hair chosen by those of you that donated to charity is going to be silver. I just need to make a decision because I'm doing an event in the beginning of January. So I need to decide, am I going to put the silver in my hair before that event? Or am I going to wait that long? Or am I going to do it before then? Just touch it up before then? I don't know. Because obviously the longer I wait, the more silver we'll have and the cooler it's going to be. So, yeah. So, Terry, what we do for charity is every time I have a big charity event, anytime you donate to the charity, you pick a color. And that's why my hair is multicolored, because I just add it on top. I don't color my whole hair. I just add it. And then we just keep adding colors. There was blue in here somewhere, but then, of course, the reds turned it all to purple. So, all right. Let's go back to class. And we have our solid pieces. So the solid pieces are done. So now we need to take a look at the combined pieces. Now, according to page number 2, what we need to do is do a black strip. Now, this is how I like to lay it out before I go to my sewing machine. A black strip to a brown strip. A black strip to a dark gray strip. A black strip to a light yellow strip, a brown to a dark gray. And as you're sewing, you can just grab the first two, sew those. Grab the next two, sew those. Grab the next two, sew those. Grab the next two, sew those. You do not need to iron these because we are going to be ironing them before we cut them. You do not have to iron your strips before you sew them together. That is stripping 101 principle of saving time. Don't have to worry about ironing that stuff. So let me go to the sewing machine and show you how we do our stripping. See, and it's so much fun. See, look, here, let me do the, oh, not that one, that one. So it's so much fun. So see, there's my roots. So you can actually see, there's nothing, oh yeah, there it is, right? See that right there? So that's actually a little bit of the blue that's left over that didn't get changed over whenever I did the red. So there's a little piece right there too. There's a little bit of the blue that's still in there. So I initially had it purple, and then it faded to pink, and then I went blue, and then it faded to pink. So, and then, well, everything went to purple, and then after the blue, then we did the red, which is starting to fade a bit, which is fine, because it's going to be good. Yeah, it's got just the hint of the blue, And then, I'm excited for the silver. I am very excited for the silver. And then our next charity event is in December. So then after that charity event, so during the month of December, we're doing creative for St. Jude. So basically everyone's going to be donating either handmade things or supplies or things they have sitting around the house. Some people are donating their quilt tops they've made from the charity races. And every time you donate $5, you get a chance to win. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And everyone that donates also gets to pick a color. And then, like, I don't have control over my hair or my tattoos. Because I've got, all these tattoos I've got are from people that have donated to choose a heart. So they're all hearts except for the logos. So the logos are the only ones that are not hearts. Like, there's an Able Gamers one back there. So whenever we do something for a charity, we try to raise enough money to put the logo on first, and then after the logo, then we add hearts on. So this is all of the money we've raised for charity. And the next time I'm doing a tattoo is December. I'm gonna do that December sitting. So I'm super excited. For. Wait, I didn't get blue because of the Jester cosplay from Critical Role. Oh, I love you, Terry. I think you're one of my new best friends now. That is, yes. No, that's... Please tell me you've been to Gen Con. Because Gen Con is best con. And now we're going on a tangent. See, this is my squirrel tangent. Right? No, I teach classes live at Gen Con, too. And Gen Con is best con. It's the best con in the world. Alright. Let's talk about stripping. Ready? Let's do teaching video stuff. And by the way, me in person teaching classes, I'm the same way, except I flit all over the room while I'm doing it. So yeah. No, try if this all figures itself out, try to go next year because Gen Con really is the best con, and I love it so much. Okay. Stripping 101. I have a video all about stripping, so if I go a little fast or if you want to repeat or slow down or re-look at it, take a look at my video on stripping. If you're watching this video as the condensed tutorial on YouTube, I've got the link down below. But you can always just go to my channel and search stripping, and it'll pop right up. What you want to do first is take your two strips you've got, shake them out. Trust me, shake them out. You do not want to know how many times I have sewed strips together and one of the strips has been caught up behind the other strip and I've sewn it like that and then had to take out my seam ripper and take it all out. So shake your strips out. Trust me. Then I always like to take the shortest one and put the shortest one on top. Just because as you're sewing it, it's going to stretch that top fabric just a little bit. So you're actually going to get more fabric and out of it by just putting that shorter one right on top. Then start at a few stitches. Now I use a 1/4 inch foot with guide. So as long as I am touching this 1/4 inch foot, I'm sewing a perfect straight line. Because I can't sew a straight line. I need help sewing a straight line. In fact, I've got a video on how to sew a straight line using all sorts of these gadgets and gizmos that you can figure that stuff out. I am personally going to be sewing a scant 1/4 inch with my things. If you've quilted before, you know what a scant 1/4 inch is. I suggest using that. If you don't know what a scant 1/4 inch is, don't worry about it. If you want to know about it, I've got a tutorial video all about the scant 1/4 inch. And how, why you want to use it, what's the history of it, everything else. But don't worry about it if you don't want to take the time to look at it. You can use a regular 1/4 inch. But for my scant, I'm actually not going to touch this. I'm going to move just to the left of it in order to do that. So, all right. So now, whenever I'm doing this, how I strip is I take my finger and I put it in here. I take my thumb, I put it up here, and the rest of my fingers are all dangly down here. And then I'm just going to sew. Now you notice my top fabric, I can go back and forth. For those of you that are new to sewing, you see my hand right here? This hand is not touching anything. This hand is just sitting here just like this. Do not push your fabric into your machine. Do not pull your fabric from your machine. You let the feed dogs, which are these things under here, grab your fabric and take your fabric away. All right? So just like that. So this is what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be strip piecing all 4 of these combinations. So I'm going to speed the video up for the stripping, and we'll go back and I'll show you how we're going to cut these pieces out. Okay, Shelly. Miss Elvain, can you go grab... Shelly, what kind of machine do you have? Do you have a high shank, low shank? Do you know what kind of machine do you have? I'm gonna give you the link for the foot. It's an amazing foot. And as you can see, I am all about speed. I am all about efficiency. And this foot allows me to do both. It allows me to go speed and save time with efficiency. But yeah, if you tell me what kind of machine you have, I can see if it's a high shank or a low shank. And then I can get you a link for the foot. It's actually pretty cheap. It's pretty inexpensive. I love it. I love it. I always suggest these feet. They're amazing. Oh yes. Yeah. Or you can hit Terry up too for her shop. Ooh, it's a Husqvarna Viking, 20 years old. Okay. Husqvarna Viking is probably a low shank. I think most Vikings are low shank. So in that case, let's see. Let me get you the link. So if you want to shop local, hit Terry's shop up. If you want to Amazon it and get it quickly, close, 1/4 inch foot with guide. Let's see, there we go, baby. $7. Copy. And there. There you go. Oh, never mind. Miss Elvain put it in there too. Is that the, oh, that one's $6. That one's better. Either of those links will work. Either of them will work. Either the $6 or the $7 one. Yeah, you can do either one. But yeah. Now, whenever you're strip piecing, I am chain piecing. So that means I'm keeping something in my machine and just putting the next one in. So I'm not going to do anything with this machine. I'm just going to take the next 2 fabrics. I'm going to shake them out. And then I'm going to start with the next ones. So I'm not pulling this out of my machine. I'm not trimming anything. I'm not cutting anything. I'm just starting with the next set. Oops, come on. There we go. Yes, that's the one for the video. You're right. Hey, that's what we're here for, Shelly. So, it's for those of you that haven't actually met me before, if this is your first chance of meeting me. Hi, I'm Toni. I'm a professional quilter. This is what I do for a living. I have my own line of pixel patterns you can find at quilt stores around the world, like Terry's. And in my live streams, you get quilting, sewing, giveaways, free things, animals, chaos. But on my tutorial videos, I try to teach you how to sew and quilt and give you all of the tools that you need in order to possibly improve or be more efficient. Because I'm all about efficiency. Now, it is my biggest struggle. So, when I learned how to quilt, I was very, very frustrated whenever I learned how to quilt. Because I noticed most quilt patterns assume you know all things quilting. Well, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to create patterns that anybody could do, no matter what their experience was at all. All right, I'm just going to check my tension really quickly. I heard a pop. Yep. Oh, lovely. All right, how far did it go? Okay. I heard a pop on there where the fabric was moving and my tension is not good. Come on. That's not a good tension. You want a tension that looks like this on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-sew that area, which is about right, it started about right there. So what happened is my thread may have hit something in there and got off track just a little bit. Basically, all I'm doing is I'm re-threading my top and my bottom thread. It should take care of it. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Just re-threading it. Now, whenever I have to redo this, I do not need to seam rip. I do not need to seam rip at all. All I'm doing is literally re-threading everything and starting right before the area that the tension started to get off. And I'm just going to re-sew it again on top of it. It's fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Come on. Get in. Yeah. Look at that getting in that hole. Come on, thread. There you go. Thanks for making me happy today and not taking a long time. All right. So where did I say? Right there. Right there is where, right before it started doing it. All right. And you just re-sew it. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's a beautiful tension now. I'll show you the, I'll show it to you. Now, if it just does that, where it gets a little off like that, seriously, all you have to do is just re-thread the top, re-thread the bottom, and go. Okay, so you'll notice there are two lines of thread now. And you can actually see them side by side. You see the bad tension versus the good tension. That bottom one is the one you want. That's a good tension. If it looks like the top one, something is up with the machine. Now, again, you can have a great tension and your machine can just be sewing and sewing and all of a sudden it pops out. Because seriously, it could be a burr on the needle. It could be the thread maybe has a little tiny kitch in it. It just kind of gets out of whack just a touch. The first thing you should do before freaking out and redoing anything with your machine is just rethreading it. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to solve that problem. All right. Everyone is combining their strips, listening to me chat. Oh, if you haven't yet followed my YouTube, go ahead and hit that follow button, because then, and if you want to get notifications whenever I put up a new video or go live, you'll get those. So I put new videos up on Tuesdays, and then, of course, we'll be going live on Thursdays for this quilt along. Now, this past Tuesday, my live video that I put up was my new blooper video. I love my blooper video. So Twitch, with my live streams for Twitch, are really more laid back. A lot more laid back. And we tend to do silly things. We play games. We sew different stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to be opening up a package for the Twitch round robin. So basically, there's a bunch of quilters on Twitch. We all got together, and we all created a flock, and we're sending it around. I think there are 8 or 9 of us. I don't remember how many of us there are, but there's a bunch of us that are doing it. So then we're just going around the round robin and doing the just, you know, adding on to them. So I did a dumpster fire that said 2020 on mine, because we started these in January. There's 8. Thanks, Erica. And yeah, I think, yeah, so there's 8 of us. And I think we started them in January. We're supposed to be done by now, but one of the participants had a baby. And so she's a little behind, which is totally okay. So I think there's like 4 or 5 quilts in the package I'm opening tomorrow. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, Terry. It is. So on Twitch, I live stream Monday nights from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock Eastern. And then Friday afternoons from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Because I've got a lot of people in Europe that have my patterns. And so I want to make sure that I've got a time that they can join me. So Friday night for Europeans is the perfect time. So yeah, so Mondays from 5 to 8, and then, hey BJ, and then Fridays from 1 to 4. Miss Sylvain, can you pop my Twitch link in chat for those that are new that want to go over and pop over in Twitch? All right, where is my scrap? I threw it somewhere, didn't I? Did I throw my scrap fabric somewhere? I think it... Scrap fabric! Scrap fabric! Where are you? Oh, are you over there? No, that's not you. That's an old scrap fabric. Alright, do I have a new... You know what? I'm getting a new scrap fabric. I'm gonna have a new love. You are now my new love. There we are. You're now my new love. Fantastic. Alright, so I'm gonna wait. Thank you, Miss Elvain. So I'm going to wait until most of you are caught up, and then I can do that. Yeah, that's... And Terry, I make sure that my live streams on Twitch are family friendly. And we joke all the time. I actually have some stores that whenever I'm live, if they're open Monday nights or Friday afternoons, they have my videos on live in the stores. And then whenever people are shopping in the stores, they're like, what's that? And you'll go, oh, hey, look at these patterns over here. These pixel patterns. You see these? This is her. You want to ask her a question? Type it right there. Let's just ask her questions on these patterns. And that's actually why I started live streaming in the first place, was to support the stores that have my patterns. Yeah, you like Stream Elements? Yeah, but I make sure and that it's whenever I'm live from 1 to 4. Yeah, no, it's great. And then Fridays we also play a game called Puzzle of the Day, which is a fun puzzle. It is a lot of fun, and I like it a lot. A lot. Go back over to there. All right, how is everyone? Is anyone not caught up to where we are with the strips? You want me to wait a little bit, or you want me to plow, go forward, and just go ahead? Hi, Jeremy. Of course, I say puzzle of the day, and Jeremy pops in. Dolores is caught up. Fantastic. Fantastic. Now remember, if you don't have this block, if you're just kind of hanging out, if you're like, hey, I want to pick this up, it is $4. It's exclamation. Yeah, I know. Okay, and for everyone else, Jeremy's Cranston. So this block is $4. You can get it with exclamation HQAL, so Halloween Quilt Along. And then, of course, if you have a code from a participating store, then you can get the block for free. You're caught up? Fantastic. All right. So we can start moving on. All right, we move this over here. Do not hit the microphone. There we are. Perfect. Awesome. All right, so we have our strips sewn together. So now the next thing I want you to do is cut each of the strips, the combined strips, in half. So what you want to do is first you want to separate our strips, and then you want to fold your strip over to cut it in half. Now, the best way to do this to make sure that you've got the most amount of fabric to use is take a look at those selvages. So you see how this selvage is up to right there, and then this one's right there. So let's line those selvages up. So those are there. So you see how I'm not lining up the ends? I'm lining up those selvages. And then bringing it down and cutting it in half. And then whenever I lay it down, I like to take it and have my cut piece on the left-hand side. It's just easier for me to keep track of. It's just a lot nicer. So let's line this up. We want to take that selvage. It'd be the yellow to the black in this case. Now, because you want to make sure to get as much fabric as you can get out of it as possible. So by cutting it that way, you've got it. All right, so let's do this. And salvage to salvage. And trim. And then the last but not least is this one. And now, after we trim these, we're going to iron them. Now, when we're ironing them, we want to make sure that we're ironing our strips in opposite directions. Okay, so what does that mean? So let me show you before I bring up my ironing board. So let's take a look at the combined black and orange. Black and orange. I know my colors. I really do. I think I'm still a little tired. All right, so black and brown. So we've got our black and brown piece. Now, this wants us to cut 4 sets of the 2.5 by 2.5 and 4 sets of the 2.5 by 1.5. Okay? So what we want to do is we're going to iron these like this. So I'm laying them out like this, and then I'm ironing this first one up towards the black. Then I'm ironing the second one up towards the brown. Do not iron your seams open. It is extremely important that you iron seams to one side because we are going to use a technique called nesting the seams. And that is how you get those perfect points in pixel quilting. So that's what we're doing for every single one. So we're ironing it to the one direction and then to the other direction. So let me do my first one. So let's take, here is my brown and my black. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you iron that top strip. You want to lock that seam into place. By locking that seam in, you're making sure that it's not going to move a lot when you're doing this. So it's not going to stretch and change that fabric too much whenever you lock that in. There you are. So there's our first one. And now let's do the other half. So this is the other half of the black and brown, where I'm going to go towards the black because I've already ironed it towards the brown. Just like that. Perfect. All right, so let me set this aside. Now, it doesn't make a difference which one you have on the bottom. You can have either one on the bottom. Just pick one that you want to have on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to have this one right here on my bottom. So then I'm going to take my other piece and I'm going to flip it up over top of this piece right here. So that you have either both browns on top or both blacks on top. So you notice how it's the exact same thing but reversed. And if we take a look at those seams, you see how those seams are pointing in opposite directions. So this one's pointing towards the brown, this one's pointing towards the black. So that's important. So we're going to now what's called nest the seams. I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to move it around until I can feel that those seams are lined up against each other all the way down. So make sure you've got that. Now, if you've lined that up correctly, it should look like this. So you see how those are right up against each other? That's what you're trying to do the whole way down. And then we cut. So if you're using a straight edge, you want to trim off the end first and then move your way down. Now we are cutting in sets. Remember, I said we're cutting in sets. So let me use my Stripology Ruler. We want to cut these like this. Now, if you're using a Stripology Ruler, ignore the top and the bottom. You want to line it up by your seam. Make sure your seam is the straight line, and that's where you want to line that up. So we're cutting 4 sets of 2.5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I cut 4 sets, so that means I now have 8 pieces. And then I'm cutting 4 sets of the 1.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember what I said, you want to take all the extras, set them aside so we can have those ready for future blocks. Then you want to open these up. So take them, and I like to put them in 2 separate piles because this pile, our seam is pointing towards the black, and then this pile, our seam is pointing towards the brown. And it's important to make sure that you know which way those seams point whenever we do our next step and laying out our pieces. All right, so let's do this. And then there's all of our pieces. So I'm going to set that aside up with our solid pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting out I'm going to iron and cut out the rest of these pieces. I'll speed up the video and then we'll come back and start talking about laying the pieces out. Any questions from you guys? Any questions at all with any of that? So I'm going to show it to you again. So this one is my black and my gray. Now, you don't have to go in the same order as the pattern. But if you do, fine. I always just grab whatever's on top, and then those are the ones I iron and then trim. And for those of you that haven't joined me on Twitch, or if this is your first time watching me YouTube Live, the difference is the YouTube Lives are more tutorials and classes. Twitch is just fun. Twitch, we hang out and have a great time. And I'm there to answer questions and talk to people and do things, and we do a lot of charity stuff. It's a lot of fun. So tomorrow, I started making some more masks, because I need some more masks for me. So I started making some more masks. So I may finish those tomorrow. But I'm definitely opening the Twitch round robin tomorrow. So I've got a package of a whole bunch of blocks and things that Abby sent me that I've got to take a look at. As you see, I like to iron all of mine first and then lay them out. And then after I iron them all, then I do my trimming. Man, you guys are all pros. Look at this. No questions. Now, Terry, if you want to offer an actual class or just share the video with those people in your store that are participating, the video itself, the combined edited video, is going to be available the last Tuesday of the month. So I'll make sure that the video is always edited and ready to go by then. I think this next Tuesday and the Tuesday after, I'm editing some old YouTube lives I did for foundation paper piecing. For those. So I think I need the wine block and the rupee. No, rupee I've got. There's one other block I've got to get up there. Really? Sir, I like to talk to my iron. When it beeps at me and talks to me. There we are. Alright, my ironing is done. I do not like that iron. It spits. Okay. Alright, so let's do this. So this is my brown and my gray. There we go. Let's line those up there. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here, Shelly. And I will see you next Thursday. So next Thursday, so now you know how to cut all this out. Next Thursday, we're going to talk about laying it all out and then sewing our pieces and then our rows together and then squaring the block up. So thanks for joining us. No, BJ, no one's got questions. All right, I've got this. All right, so this is my gray and my brown. Oh, I just need one set of 1.5. Wow, look at that. Wow, that was easy. All right, so this goes over to the side. Now, in this case, because I only have 2 pieces, I just put them together. It's not a problem. I just put those together. Okay. And then black and yellow. Okay. It wasn't straight. There we go. Alright, so my black and yellow. Again, I just need one set of 1.5. Now, the reason why you've got all of this, there's a whole bunch, and it looks like that, wait, we're wasting all this fabric. Remember, this is part of the quilt along. You're going to use those combined pieces later, and it's going to save you some time. Alright, so we've got those. And then now the black and gray. So I need 2 and 5. Perfect. I've got glitter on my desk from those Michael Miller Fairy Frost fabrics I was packing up to send to people earlier. It would help if I did this high enough that you could see it. Alright, so I've got that. Alright, so I said 2. So 1, 2. And then I need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to split these. There we go. And there's all of our pieces. I've got it. No questions at all from anyone at all, right? You guys all got this? You're all you're pros? All right, would you like me to go ahead and show you the layout or wait until everyone catches up? Now remember, we're not going to finish the layout. We're not going to actually do the layout until next week. However, I am gonna show it to you. So if you want to have it all laid out before we start class to catch up, in order to have a head start on the people that are just joining us for the first time next week, you can. And remember, the YouTube Live is going to be available. So if you go on my YouTube page for my videos, there is a live category. You can watch the previous lives. And so you can watch this video over and over again if you want. It makes it pretty easy. Do 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 do. I can't sing. It's the whole waiting for people to... Again, this is so weird not watching the Zoom. I know. Delay doesn't help. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that are hanging out, there is about a 10-second delay between what I say and what you see, because I have closed captioning enabled. So if you are having issues listening, and you need that closed captioning, or if you are hearing impaired, you can turn that closed captioning on. It's one benefit that I like about YouTube versus Twitch is the embedded closed captioning. So we don't have any issues with that. Yeah. So it's a good thing. In fact, I should probably turn that on so I can see what the closed captioning is. Do 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 do. Nice. All right, well, if everyone's super busy doing it, I'm going to go ahead and talk about laying pieces out to give you all a head start for next week. And then we can decide, do we want to hang out for a little bit longer and I can maybe work on some masks or call it a stream. All right, so let's do this. So I don't need this anymore. Now, at this point, we've got everything laid out. So now we want to look at this. We want to look at our laid out pieces. So how we do this is I want to take all of my pieces and I want to set them out so that I can easily grab each of those pieces. There we are. Just like that. And let's put this up here. You can't see it because of the overlay, but it's there. Okay, and now I'm going to take those pieces. Yeah, you're right, Miss Elvain. So I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to lay them out here. So for example, I'm going to start with my row number 1. And you see this piece right here? So it correlates to that piece right there. It is that piece right there. So what we want to do is follow along and look at those pieces and figure out which piece is it coming from. So this piece right here is that one right there. And all you're doing is laying them out one at a time and making sure that you keep in mind any seams. So, for example, row 2, we want to lay this out. So we've got that one, and then this one right here, and then that one, and then that one, and then the next one is a black and a gray combined piece. Okay? So we've got a black and a gray combined piece. Well, if we take a look at row number 2, the arrows point in the direction that we want our seams. So this piece right here, it needs the seam needs to point towards the black. Okay, so that means I'm getting this piece where the seam points towards the black. Just like that. And that's it. No, 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 we're not doing the right and left yet, Miss Elvain. We're not pinning them today. Yes, it does. We set it up. We set it up for there. But we're not doing that today because we're not pinning. It's just laying it out. We're doing that next Thursday. Yes, exactly, Dolores. So that's the arrows are the ways, then that's why we ironed and cut those seams different ways to make sure that we understood that. So now you want to have that and when you're laying out all of your pieces. All right. Any questions? Any questions on any of that? Everyone thinks that they are good to go and they can lay all their pieces out and be ready for next week? Let me put all my pieces back because I've got to travel with this because I am not going to be here next Thursday. I'm going to be actually at BJ's house. And I'm going to be down in his studio and we may get some kitty visitors. And well, I've got a kitty visitor, of course, here. We won't have any doggy visitors because Marley will stay at my parents' house, unfortunately. Oh, you must have missed that part? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right, so we've got that. And then that. And there we are. And that is how I am saving my pieces in order to do that. And then, of course, there's my kitty cat. My sleepy kitty cat. All right, so. BJ. BJ. Sir. You better not squirt me with a squirt gun. This isn't Twitch. If it was Twitch, that'd be funny. But it's not Twitch. Alright, let me go ahead, since we are done with the actual video stuff that we're doing today. Let me turn on some quick music. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to call it a stream, or do you want to watch me work on some masks? What would you like? I would like a vote. Please show of hands. Call it a stream. Where is my pretzel? There it is. Call it a stream, or watch me do masks? What do you want? Now we wait the 10 seconds of the delay. Amanda wants masks! I was like, why is it playing there? It was playing in the wrong thing. Masks? Masks? Alright. For those of you that have not seen my video, this is the video that I'm going to be looking at. There we go. So a fast and easy face mask.
Hi, I'm Toni.
So this is the video that I'm going to be taking all of my measurements from. Because I actually... Alright, Dolores, we can call stream for you. Go ahead. If you have to go, go head out. You're fine. I'm gonna start on these masks. So that video is the video that I'm going to be using for making this. I'll see you next week, Dolores. All right, so let's take a look at this. So I need a small, because I got a small head. I'm going to make myself two. I'm going to make one for my mom, my dad, and my brother. So let's do... Now, if I do a 9-inch, so 7, 14, 21, 21 plus 11, so a single 9-inch strip. And then what color do I want to use for the inside? No. I'm just gonna do a regular 5-minute face mask. I'm just doing a regular fast one. The templates take too long. I don't want to take too long. And then what I'll do, whatever I don't finish, if I don't finish this tomorrow morning, I'll finish it on my Twitch channel. Alright, you guys can help me pick a corresponding color. So, we're thinking black? Really? There's no black in here, though. Do I have a dark navy blue? Where's my face mask stuff? There it is. I really do. I don't have... I had to get my other supplies. Oh, an elastic. I didn't get the elastic. Where's my elastic? I don't know where my elastic is. Did I take it? Oh, I took it with me to Dragon Con. That's right. Yep. I forgot I took my elastic to Dragon Con. Woo! No, I'm not packing on stream. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, no, I'm making masks for the game next week. All right, so cuz I finished the quilt along. No, I don't think I have a dark blue fabric. There we go. That'll work. Okay. It's a good thing I finished. Can you guys hear the dogs? Well, yeah, black's fine, but they got navy. Alright, let me go see what the dogs are barking at. I'll be right back. So, there was a cat on the window ledge, teasing the dogs. Oh, I don't know! Go. Alright, let me cut mine first. So, mine are 5.5 by 8. Okay, so then I need 7 by 9s. There we go. Okay. And then this has got to be an 8. Oh. Well, crap. Okay. Alright, you know what? I'm done. We'll do the rest tomorrow. I'll do the rest tomorrow on my Twitch stream. I'll pull out the fabric and recut it. Because remember, they're not long enough for scrunchies. They have to be 22 inches long for scrunchies. And for dice bags, they have to be 22 inches long to fold in half for an 11-inch tall dice bag. It's okay. It's okay. I'll figure. I can do cord wraps. I should do cord wraps of those. Yeah, I can do cord wraps of those. Alright, let me throw them in the cord wrap bin. Cord wrap bin. Okay, so. Thank you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for being here on my first kickoff Join me next Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 here on YouTube for the second part of Block 1, the bat. And if you want to see me finish these masks tomorrow on Twitch from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I'll start with that, get those done, and then I'll move on to the Twitch round robin. So, goodbye guys! Be kind to each other, have a fantastic day.